Hello Aquarius, welcome back to Mind, Body and Heart Tarot Therapy. I'm here to do the reading for July 2020, or what's left of this month, or it's more like a month from when you're seeing this really. It's kind of that time frame. So I hope you're well, Aquarius. This is a general reading for Aquarius Sun, Moon and Rising signs. If it resonates, it resonates, and if it doesn't, it just doesn't. So there's the Queen of Swords here as your current energy. All right, let's see what's the challenge for Aquarius. Love is challenging, eh? Partnership is challenging. Relationships in general. All right, let's see what's the advice for my dear Aquarius. Okay. You have the Five of Wands, the Strength, and the Three of Wands as your advice. Beautiful. And now let's see what is the future energy. The Knight of Wands is the future energy. And bottom of the deck you have the Chariot. Moving forward. Wow, wow, wow. All right, Aquarius. Now I'm going to pull out the clarifier. So the Chariot is the theme of your reading, right? You're definitely moving forward with confidence. And you're harnessing the energies around it, the chaos within yourself and outside of yourself. And you are using your power of choice and free will here. That's very important. All right, let's see. Why are these cards here? Why is the Queen of Swords here as your current energy? Son of Swords, which is basically the Knight of Swords. Knight. Now, why is the Two of Cups here as your challenge? What's challenging here? The Sun and the World. Wow. Okay. Very intriguing. Now, why are these cards here as your advice? Six of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, and the Moon. That's what these cards are addressing. That's the way I see it. And why is the Knight of Wands as your future energy? Son of Cups with the Ten of Wands. Okay, and bottom of the deck, the Devil. The Devil, you know. So we have the Chariot and the Devil. This is 15, so it's number 6. And this is obviously a 7. You see, the Chariot here has this two sphinxes. One is white and one is black. And he needs to harness the energy of both in order for this to work, to go straight, to go forward, to go on the path. Otherwise, one will pull one direction, one will pull another. See, they're actually slightly oriented towards the outside. So they need to be in perfect balance for this Chariot to move forward. So this character here, the hero of this journey, you, hence, is understanding, like, you know, having the wisdom of the heavens, let's say, which means a good connection with spirit, divinity, higher self, soul, however you want to call it, the universe, God, whatever. It's that open crown chakra, and you know, having the star here, being divinely guided, and it's got a pure heart. See, he has this square right at the heart center, and it's white. The square means that there's protection, there's space, there's a container for it, and white means purity. And he's leaving the safe ground of his castle in order to, you know, I think there's some water he crossed here, and now he's like, you know, he passed the defenses at this point, and he's going out into the journey. He's going out to explore what else is out there, to really expand consciousness, to have the human experience. And the Devil serves that purpose. We can look at it in this reading in this sense, like the pulling power, the seduction of what else is out there. Because if we stop in the comfort zone, then this is it. That's all what we're going to know. And we sometimes need a discomfort, or sometimes we need to have some sort of a longing within, or a craving of sorts, or a deep desire rooted in the heart to explore, to see, to expand, to grow. And this is what the devil tells me here. So also, do not fear this devil. If we are to only take the white sphinx here, you're gonna go in circles, because that's what happens. It just pulls one direction. You're just gonna make circle after circle after circle. So you need to recognize, accept, and allow the dark side to be there within yourself and outside of yourself, and allow it to bring the wisdom that it brings. Having a non-dual perspective on life and on your inner world as well as in your relationships, from what I see here. Okay, darling. Non-dual perspective. You have the Queen of Swords with the Son of Swords here. This is like Libra energy, and this is Gemini energy. But it can all be you, right? Because it's air energy, and you, Aquarius, have air energy. You are air. The Queen of Swords as an archetype, what she speaks of is full awareness of one's needs and full awareness of one's space, and ability to communicate what one needs and the space it needs. And bear in mind, though, that the way I see it here coming together, and with this, it is very possible that you may get it to be over defensive. Like the Queen of Swords can lean towards, cutting, being over dismissive in a sense, and cutting everyone off out of, she can be quite cold sometimes. And she can be quite harsh in her communication, maybe a little bit rough, This is maybe necessary. It's fine. Just be aware that this is happening. Be aware that you are in that energy right now. And that usually comes because the Queen of Swords has been through everything. She's been through all the pains that this life has to offer. And she suffered greatly, and she survived it. She got out of it. And she didn't just survive it. She's thriving because she's on the top of her suit. But she understands that she does not want to have certain experiences. So she can really, the moment she sees a tiny red flag somewhere there, she would be like, shh, out, you're out, no. And won't be particularly gentle in her speech around that. So again, it may be necessary. Maybe there's a situation you find yourself in with your partnership, or with the relationship that you find yourself in, whether it's romantic, friendship, work, whatever. But it does have to, you are emotionally invested in this, whatever it is. Don't forget that you may be prone to cut your emotions off and just act out of protectiveness. Yeah. And if you do so, be with it. Notice, observe when do the shields go up, observe what is it that you're trying to protect yourself from, and observe if that danger is real or projected. It may be necessary, even if it's projected. Maybe somehow I have a wound that really needs a little bit more inner love and awareness and acceptance, and some people may trigger it as the moment they come close, even they may not necessarily be doing something wrong. It's just that it hurts so deeply that it throws me in I don't know what crazy behavior, or avoidant, or to completely shut down and go in freeze mode. And then again, it's not about the other person, it's my own projection, it's my own pain, it's my own trauma. But I may need to take that space, even if it's not the other person's fault. I may still need to communicate, hey, I'm not okay right now, and I need to work through this. And it's okay. That can be done with more gentleness. That you don't need to, to be too harsh with this. You can state very clearly where you're at and what you need. And if the other person offers to serve you, to protect you, to take the pain away, maybe that's not what you want. Maybe that's not what you need. Maybe what you need is to really just be with whatever's there, whatever it is that you're longing for. What is it that you need? Because this will give you the space to understand what is it that pulls you out. Maybe it's time for you to get out of a relationship and go and explore something else. Maybe that relationship felt like that comfort zone, and maybe now you've got the devil pulling you out with, I don't know, maybe attraction to other people, or maybe attraction to a different type of lifestyle or whatever. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe you've been so in your comfort zone, being completely single for a long time, and you've done the work, you've known yourself, you've been into this like cutting everyone off who dares to say anything maybe remotely triggering, or maybe you've done a lot of work and you are able to communicate very clearly exactly what you need. But then the any type of relationship may feel like a threat, because it can throw you out of balance. You're not used to think of someone else anymore. You're not used to. It may feel intrusive to have somebody in your thoughts or things like that. So whichever side of this you are, it's very important to see exactly where you are. Observe. And the swords energy, they're both actually coming with a lot of clarity. There's only one sword here. Can grant you that once you have the awareness and the intention. So, challenging. Okay, you seem to be challenged in a relationship of sorts, whether it's an old one or a new one, whether it's romantic or even like family that we're close to, or that whatever. It can be, as I said, friendships, somebody, but again, you're emotionally invested in this. This is not something that is just like I don't know, whoever. And what seems to be mainly challenging for you right now in this relationship is either showing yourself, either seeing the other person for who they are, because the sun talks about revealing, the sun talks about bringing the darkness into the light, brings light over dark areas. And with the world here, I think it's also challenging to let go of old chapters, to let go of the chapters where we've been maybe suffering in a certain way. Maybe we sometimes insist to bring the same type of suffering in a new setting or in a new relationship, or maybe the relationship kind of learned a lesson and it needs to graduate, it needs to get beyond that level to a next level of the relationship. Maybe that would mean with having more space in between, or maybe having moving in together, or that kind of stuff. Changing somehow the model of that relationship. Maybe setting some new boundaries, or moving on whatsoever, allowing it to complete its natural end. Whatever it is that's being revealed from within yourself and from what you see in the other person is challenging, right? It can threaten your version of reality, and it is. This is why the world is here. The world is here to bring you a new reality, whatever that is. And though how much we want to change, however much we want to bring resolution in our life and move on over certain challenges and emotional dramas, we hold on to them for the life of us. We are used to them. That becomes the familiar. And whenever something like joy and beauty and being like, having a different type of experience feels threatening, because it's new, because it's not familiar, and the brain tends to not react well to that. The brain likes its familiarity, all right. It works based on patterns, and in its job is to prospect, to understand, okay, based on the current data and based on all this database that I'm holding in my hardware, I'm projecting or prospecting or perceiving certain things, and I'm creating I keep creating a model of reality. The more gaps there are in this model of reality, or the more I realize that this model is obsolete, the more I panic, and the more I want to, just to hold on to it, whatever that is. But that's the mind's perspective. Remember that you're not your mind, you're not your thoughts. It is challenging, but this is what you're going through, and this is your experience, and you gotta accept it. Whatever is being revealed and shown to you, accept it for what it is. Whatever needs chapter is it that needs to end, or whatever deep you need to go through to the next level, allow that next level to take place. Allow yourself to learn the lesson. Allow yourself to have the experience. Whatever that experience is, coming in together closer or letting go. Advice. So you have the 5 of Wands, the strength, and the 3 of Wands as advice. And these 3 together, talk to me about challenging a little bit your understanding about what strength should look like and what your life should look like. You know, the the 3 of Wands talks about manifestation, moving forward with a direction, seeing things into manifestation, like really starting things to happen, you know, not just to dream about them, but you have put in some action and things start to happen, you know. And strength obviously talks about like inner balance and compassionate integration of your shadow self and of your wild side and all that. But it may be that what you think that strength should look like, it's an outdated version as well. Maybe you think that being this Queen of Swords that is cold and distant is what the model of strength should be. Maybe you think that you're supposed to repress your dark side or your wild side in order to be strong. You know, a person that is whole has both sides equally developed and they're in balance. It's not about repressing one side in the favor of other. They can exist both at the same time. So is the lady, which represents the consciousness, the awareness, the mind, the human awareness, and the lion here represents obviously the unconscious, the desires, this devil, you know, the beast within. So maybe you really need to challenge what is it that you consider to be strength and how this should look like. Stop trying to define it so much. Maybe you're trying too hard to define this should look like this or this should look like that, and in my position in this, my role in this should be like this or like that. But you see, I see the 8 of Swords here, and the 8 of Swords talks again about, like, you know, not allowing yourself to grow, keeping yourself blocked, attached to a model of reality, attached to an idea of how things should be. It does come with the 6 of Pentacles, so I think it has to do also about giving and taking and balancing that up. How much are you putting into a relationship? This one, how much are you taking from it? Now, this at a very practical level is important, right? Because if we're overgiving and if we don't really understand how much is it that we really need and how much we have to not be completely stripped off and you know, like not be able to keep producing for ourselves and to refilling ourselves and all that, to have some for growth, then it's going to be a depleting and an imbalance in there. If you don't give enough, if you're just expecting to take, that's also a problem, obviously, because the other party will feel depleted and resentful and will feel like they're giving too much and you're just taking. So it's important to reflect on this, but remember that at a higher level, at a soul level, we're not really giving and receiving much. This is always an exchange. This is always a reenactment of the same energy. It's more about being in that energy or not, and choosing to be in that or not. How you can do this? You can feel your way through this. This is the moon. You don't need to know things at this like very practical mind level. You need to feel into it. You really need to just sit with it, feel into it, challenge whatever it is that you project on those feelings, whatever analysis you have around those emotions, intuitions and feeling, and just allow it to settle, you know. Okay, I feel this wave of sadness. I immediately attribute to it, oh yeah, this is something that I've been sad in the past. Oh yeah, it's that very familiar feeling of being lonely or rejected or abandoned or not good enough or this or that, you know. And instead of like attaching that analysis to it, or at least instead of believing that, that's the point of challenging, instead of believing that story, just focus more on the actual sensation, actual feeling in itself, the emotion. How does it feel? How does it taste like? What happens is I just hold space for it and be present with it. What happens in the body? Does it stay? Does it go? Does it intensify? Does it grow heavier? Does it go lighter? Does it change? Does it, in what way? And that's like not attaching how the story it really is or should look like. It's really being with the present moment, and that's where your truth is going to come from. And this is taking you to the Knight of Wands. This is Sagittarius energy. And the Son of Cups is, well, it can be any water sign, Scorpio, Cancer, what's the other one? Pisces. I think this is more Piscean energy to me, Son of Cups. It could be Cancer too. No, Cancer, I feel that the Queen of Cups is more Cancer. Anyhow, disregard the signs. It's not much about the signs, it's more about the energy of these cards. So future energy, you have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is this enthusiastic energy, curious, ready to go into this trip, ready to put up with the challenges, hungry for them, really ready to be seduced into something or another, ready to grow through experience, ready to have the human experience. Maybe sometimes a little bit too much, that can become an addiction too, experience addiction. Escaping through, okay, now I'm gonna go traveling and well, I don't know what to do with my life, so I'm gonna go have another tour of Southeast Asia or whatever, and immerse myself in the experience, but I never really allow myself the space to process whatever it is that I am going through. What was that? Sorry, I don't know what those sounds are. Never mind. Some technology here having a say. So that can be a downside to it, of course. It always can be a downside. But what I see in here is like, being more open, being open to receive. The Son of Cups can mean receiving an offer or giving an offer. But I think it's more about receiving and being curious, being open, being, again...
Sorry, I'm having trouble with the connection. Please try again in a moment.
Lovely. I think that's Siri. Siri, shut up. Sorry, just a second. All right, whatever that meant. Interesting. And it also means taking more responsibility. As you go out there and having the experience, as you're living out your comfort zone, as you're going through allowing this guidance and allowing this devil to seduce you, you do take responsibility for it. You do understand that this will take you somewhere else. You're going to have to grow, and you're going to have to put up with the challenges that will come on that path. There is no adventure if there are no challenges. There is no growth if there are no challenges, So the Ten of Wands talks about really like, it's a closing of a spiritual cycle, but it's also like some type of complication that goes through that, and acceptance of that, acceptance that things are not just going to go smoothly. The deeper you go, the more challenging it can feel like, but also the more curious and the more committed you are to the path to knowledge, to self, the path of love, the path of awakening. When we are true to ourselves and when we are committed to love ourselves, to accept ourselves, and to expand and grow our consciousness and awareness. I'm going to pull out the Ruby message for you that hopefully will bring even more clarity here. Beyond the threshold of fear, seek love. You are a bit fearful here, and I get it. It's scary to let the devil seduce you. We're always afraid, what if I'm going to get burnt? You're afraid to get out of the safety that you created with this Queen of Swords, that uses the mind and uses the communication and the language, the highly elevated community, like smart, witty language that you use as a tool to to create safety. And it's understandable. It is. Okay, I'm going to read this before I go any deeper, but it's understandable. You have suffered a lot. At the same time, if you not allow yourself to be revealed and you not allow yourself to see things for what they are and to allow certain cycles to end, then that's where you're just going to get stuck in the mind at this level. That it will never really be the case. Whether we like it or not, we constantly change. But it's better and beautiful to be committed to be present throughout your process rather than overprotective and frozen. Okay, beyond the threshold of fear, number 25. Okay, I think I found it. So this says, the poem first. Enter the lion's jungle. Don't think about getting hurt. Fearful thoughts are phantoms of the mind. No one is harmed in this jungle. Everything is compassion and love. It is your fear holding you back, like a bar behind the door. See, exactly like this. It's your fear holding you back. From it is these swords that don't allow this cocoon to grow into the butterfly, the chrysalis to open. I think that's what it's called. Okay. Yeah, I think this is very much on point. Okay, let's go to the interpretation. So after so long, you are changing your relationship to fear. No more shall it hold you in its thrall. You are becoming able to observe it, to witness it, even to have compassion rather than resistance. Instead of unconsciously sabotaging your growth and choosing to slumber in darkness, you awaken and delight in the light and sound of your divine being. Push and pull, one step forward, half step back. So it has been for so long and you have endured. Yes, you are winning the race, brave one, and fear is felt to fizzle out. It was always a far less beautiful firework than your passionate conviction for love anyway. Better to let that dazzling firework come to light instead, much more satisfying. I love it. Oh, what a spiritual marathon you have been running. Now, see, this is the 10 of Wands here. Now the end is in sight, and with the world as well. These are ends of cycles, right? The end of a spiritual cycle and the end of a really big soul cycle here. So, what a spiritual marathon you have been running. Now the end is in sight. You are drinking the sacred waters to replenish you from your journey. The cups are pushed into your hands by encouraging angels as you approach that blessed sash marking the finish line. Your body and your soul are in this journey together, and now they are ready for victory and, yes, to rest and recover from the effort. Rest now before a new adventure begins from a completely different state of being. This is how I see this Son of Cups here coming. You see, you being offered this cup. I love that it actually says the cup, so I'm going to bring that again. You are drinking the sacred water to replenish you from your journey. The cups are pushed into your hands by encouraging angels as you approach that blessed sash marking the finish line. You see, it's fascinating how it ties in here. The Knight of Wands is really that energy that is I'm going over the pushing line, I'm going over the finish line, I'm jumping this one, I'm going to get there. And here you are at the end of that cycle, that spiritual cycle. Okay. This oracle comes with spiritual guidance for you. You have broken through a barrier, a self-imposed barrier of fear, whether it seemed to originate from within your consciousness or from an external set of circumstances that held you back from taking the steps you are now taking or just about to take. These steps may feel strange, new, uncertain, and exciting. Your mind might not have received the memo that the fear-based existence is no longer in operation for you. You may need a loving, tender, reassuring, and firm update that the relationship you have with fear is now rather different. You are the witness, not the victim. Oh, beautiful. Your consciousness is strong enough to hold it in compassion. You don't collapse under its weight. In fact, it is becoming less and less substantial for you. When it is there, it seems less convincing than what it is once appeared to be. Compelling still at times perhaps, but not anywhere near as powerful as it once was. That power has been claimed by your heart instead. Oh my God, this is beautiful, Aquarius. I'm so excited to hear that. So give your mind the memo. Get used to the new way and take steps. Test your legs. You'll find them powerful and ready. Get set to fly. Test your wings. Trust is one, daring is the other. No. Trust is one, daring is the other. That means your wings, right? You'll find them enthusiastic for flight. There you are. And ready to learn to ride the current, purpose-built for soaring to great heights. Trust in your vision. Without the murky filter of fear, it is sharp and clear. You can see what is meant from you. No, you can see what is meant for you, what is true for you, what is beckoning you forward now. Take the running leap. There is no darkness and light for you anymore, just life. Living free and clear. I'll be running and flying beside you. We'll soar and dive and rise together. Let's play. Oh my God, that's beautiful. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna read. There's this ritual here. If you feel like doing it, by all means, go for it. If not, just let it go if it's not your thing. So, place your hands at your belly and say aloud, with the aid of Rumi, who loves me without condition, and the loving grace of Mother Earth, I lay down all old fear that no longer serves my great soul purpose. I release it now with complete forgiveness, acceptance and gratitude. Be at peace, old fear. Thank you for your teachings. Return to the Earth Mother now. I no longer bind you to me. Slowly and purposefully move your hands from your belly toward the earth, as if taking the fear from your body and dropping it with reverence into the receiving earth at your feet. Repeat that movement 3 times, or for however long feels necessary. You may also like to repeat that movement with your hands, moving from your heart down towards the earth, and then from your head sweeping gently down to the earth. When you are ready, say, through the grace of Rumi, fear is replaced with wisdom. I am gently, powerfully restored to my inherent divine radiance, ready to live my life with love filled with trust, patience, boldness, and tender affection. So be it. And this concludes your ritual. This is a really beautiful one. I think I'm gonna do it myself. Thank you so much, Aquarius, for being here, for sitting through this, for doing for being present with yourself, especially. That's always the most inspiring for me, to see people engaged with themselves in their own process, and keep coming back to the inner wisdom. So thank you so much for doing that. Yeah, if you resonated with this reading, please like, share, subscribe, comment. And yeah, I'll see you here next month. May our practice benefit all beings.